Welcome back to the NFToyz Podcast. I'm Allison.
And I'm Son. Not your son, just Son.
I mean, you could be there. You don't know. Maybe your mom's watching or listening.
You
don't know that.
Hi, Mom. But yeah, welcome back. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I don't know how long it's been.
It has been probably, like 6 months since our last... Yeah, about 6 months. Since our last podcast episode. But we were back for now. And we will be leaving again. I guarantee it.
I'm sure. Soon enough.
But we're hoping to make it a few more months before we have to disappear again for a while. For reasons.
But also just for everyone who's listening to the podcast, or I mean, I guess if you watch it on YouTube, then you've seen that we start posting stuff again. We also restarted, maybe not restarted.
We were never doing the Twitch stream.
Yeah, we started doing a Twitch stream on every Saturday at 1 p.m.
Twitch.tv/NFToyz.
NFToyz, yeah.
Same spelling as in the podcast name.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be pretty much like an office hour, maybe more office, maybe 2 hours. A session where we answer your questions about NFTs, technical questions. Any kind of question, really.
Technical questions, conceptual questions, not so much like investing questions or anything like that. We're not going to tell you which NFTs are, good for you to buy or anything.
Because nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's all speculative.
Idea. Buy the sausages.
Yes.
We can guarantee that's a terrible investment. But
no, well, maybe not an investment. you get the sausage.
They're
I don't know if
cute.
you're gonna make money, but you get the sausage.
Exactly.
That's an investment, Nelson.
That's a reward in itself.
Exactly. But yes, so check it out if you're listening to podcasts.
And we've also restarted the blog.
Oh yeah.
I've written some blog posts about NFT concepts and blockchain concepts.
Stuff, yeah.
If you are interested in learning more about the technologies behind NFTs and blockchain, we've got you covered.
And that's on NFToyz.com.
Yes.
Right.
NFToyz with a Z.com.
Yes. So it's been 6 months since we've done this.
Yes.
A lot has changed
in the
NFT world, and a lot hasn't changed. And one of those many things that hasn't changed is security. And security is always there, but wallet UX, wallet UI.
I'm sure
and the
you
difficulty
can identify a lot of ways in which it has changed.
Yes.
But it's still an issue.
Yeah, it's still an issue. It's difficult to get going for, new users. It's confusing. It's convoluted. Wallets are, like what do you use? What's hard? What's hot? What's cold storage, what's hot wallet, what's any of those stuff,
all
right? All the terminologies. And your seed phrase, what do you do with those? So that hasn't changed.
How do you protect yourself?
Exactly. And what Allison's gonna on the blog post, you plan on having some articles about it too, right? Just to kind of introduce people to what those concepts are. Mm-hmm. At least so they know.
At least you know the difference between like hot and cold wallets.
Yeah.
And custodial versus not, and all of these different terms that if you're coming from outside the NFT or blockchain world, you're just like, what the heck does this all mean?
Yeah.
So my hope is to kind of clarify a lot of that for newbies into the industry, or even if you're experienced in the industry and you're just not quite sure what certain things are talking about. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, I've been doing this for a while, and there's some stuff that Allison's been doing research and telling me about, and I'm just like, what? He's
like, really?
Really?
What?
Oh, interesting. Now I know, So check out the blog on that. But speaking of what hasn't changed and the convolutedness of all of this crypto stuff and the wallet stuff related stuff.
Probably the biggest news in the NFT industry right now.
Yes, is the OpenSea. Well, a lot of people like to clickbait, have clickbait title like OpenSea hacks and stuff like that, but it's actually not OpenSea's fault. It's just a phishing hacks, and that can happen. That happens with before OpenSea. That happens before crypto. So
it sounds like the consensus right now is because a lot of people were thinking that it had to do with something. It had to do with OpenSea's new contract that they just released. But apparently it has nothing to do with the new contract. It's just the timing coincided with it. So it actually was not anything that OpenSea changed on their end.
Yes.
It was just bad timing.
Yes. So yeah, just, I mean, a little background on it is over the weekend, there's maybe 20, 30 people who got hacked, or who got who got
their stuff stolen.
Who got the NFT stolen from their wallet, their custodial wallet. And these people don't know how it happened. They just wake up one day and they're like, "Oh, wait, why is all my NFT just kind of
Everything's gone.
Picked up itself and leave the wallets?" Exactly. And they're all, that's caused a huge freak out. Everyone's freaking out. Like, what happened? Is there a hack? Is there an exploit in the contract? And these contracts are, even though we call them smart contract, they're essentially just, dumb vending machine. That's just a bunch of instruction written in a way that is verifiable on the blockchain. And so, the people, a lot of time there's a lot of bugs and exploits that could happen with code, because they're written by us, and we're human, we make mistakes.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. So where was I think I went
contracts are only as smart as the people who write them.
Exactly. Point proven. So yes, so a lot of NFT got hijacked, got stolen. Nobody know what's going on. A lot of people are freaking out. And it turns out that it seems like what happened was that, well, okay, let's rewind a little bit how these NFT and how OpenSea works and how Marketplace works is that if I have an NFT, if I want to sell my NFT on OpenSea, I would have to approve OpenSea to make that, to transfer that.
Pretty much, you have to sign something to give OpenSea the right to do the transfer, to take something out of your wallet and move it into somebody else's.
Yes. And a lot of these people, if most traders or investors or people who do a lot of NFT trading, they most likely have approved OpenSea to do this automatically, right? Because they need OpenSea to sell it on their behalf. So what happened with that was that a lot of these people have that opening, and somehow they got in the past, I guess in the period of maybe the last month, 30 days or so, somehow they must have they must have signed an order, but they got phished. So they signed an order somehow, somewhere, to essentially say that, okay, it's okay, it's okay to move my order. You have permission to move my order. So they signed it somehow, and the hacker somehow phished the signature, essentially.
So are you saying that they signed an incorrect, like they went to a bad link? A bad link
or something like that. Right now, nobody knows exactly. And the people the victims of this hacks this phishing attacks did not, like you couldn't tell. I mean, there's a lot of, and that's why it comes back to a lot of these things are so convoluted, so complex. And sometimes I go to a website, I sign something with my wallet, and I have no idea what I signed for. And there's a lot of work that's being done to make that better right now. But as it is right now,
it sucks.
A lot of things, like even I am in the industry, I do this almost every day.
This on a regular basis, yeah.
And even I sometimes like, I'm signing something. I hope I didn't sign my life away.
Sure this is legit? We don't know for sure.
And sometimes I just kind of like, what? I don't have much on my wallet. I'm just gonna sign it. I'll just go. I can't afford to lose my sausage, Allison. I have sausage on my wallet.
We have a whole 9,900.
That's not minted yet,
71 that have not yet been minted. I'm sure you can mint a new one.
Probably I can mint it. It costs money though.
I mean, for you, it would just cost gas.
Yeah, it would cost gas. But yes, so somehow, some way, the last 30 days, these people sign away their permission somehow, and the hacker collect these essentially signature on the blockchain, and they replay that somehow in their hack contract, and essentially the hacker was able to transfer all these out.
So pretty much they got these signatures, they held on to them.
Yes.
And then at some point, probably way after these people actually signed this, they used all this.
Used the signature saying that, hey, it's okay to release my NFT for this certain amount of money, which in this case is probably like $0 or something.
And you, I don't know if it was your speculation or if this was something that you read from somebody else, but you were kind of speculating that it actually was OpenSea's new contract that triggered the hackers to run this because the hackers may not have been able to do it with the new contract. So they had to do it while the old contract was still in place.
So that's a good point. And it's not my speculation. I just read that. And it makes sense to me.
All I hear is from you, so I don't know where it came from.
It makes sense to me because last Friday was when OpenSea is trying to they're trying in the process of migrating all these the main contract to do these marketplace orders and stuff. They're trying to migrate to the new version of it. So which means that the old version will eventually expire, like orders and orders and listing and stuff will get expired at a certain point. So what happened then is like so back to the whole permission to giving approval permissions for OpenSea to move your NFT on your behalf. You do this towards a contract, right? So if OpenSea has a new contract to do these marketplace stuff, then you would have to give the new contract permissions. So that's what happened is that, like you said, is that with the new version,
these signatures will no longer be valid.
Yeah, it only works for the old contract.
So they got to get it in before that old contract expires.
I think what some people speculate that kind of put that pressure for the hacker who collect these signature essentially on the blockchain.
That's why it looked like it was something that the new contract was messed up. Everybody thought it was a new contract at first.
Yeah. But even with the old contract, essentially, from the general consensus is that it's not the contract's fault. It's not OpenSea's fault. It's just these people somehow release a signature or sign away their NFT at some point in the past 30 days or so.
It's like you get one of those like scammy bank text
and
messages,
you click on the link,
you click it,
and you type in your password essentially, right? I mean, that's essentially what happened.
Pretty much what happened.
And you're like, okay, well, hey, look,
it's not the bank's fault that happened.
Bank of America, let me type in my password, give away my money, and then somebody comes in with your password. That's a good analogy.
Thank you.
I mean, that's essentially what happened is that you got a phishing link. You go there and you type in your password. And then
it's just like traditional phishing. I mean, I'm sure the mechanics of it are different, but the concept of it is very similar to traditional,
we could have just said that, and that would have explained everything.
That's why I explain things here.
I've been trying for like the last 10 minutes trying to explain it. And Allison's like, oh, no, it's like this. And I'm like, okay, then that makes sense.
This is why you keep me around.
Yes, you're kind of like a translator.
Yes.
Of my techno babble. And then you're just like, oh, no, it's literally just A plus B equals C. Yeah. That's it. 1 + 1 = 2, and I'm here like, no, you have to take 1.1 and then do, I don't know, some weird calculation.
Certain values of 1.
Yeah. But yeah, essentially that they collect people password essentially, and then they at a later day they're like, oh, hey,
now we're gonna use this.
Yeah, now I'm gonna use this because Bank of America is apparently switching their login.
Yeah.
So now we gotta do it.
Right.
And so they go in and they just type the password and then just like, hey, I'm gonna collect my money. Or transfer the money out. That's essentially it.
Yeah.
So if you can switch screen, Allison, for people who are listening to the podcast, you can also watch this, the live version, or not the live, but the video version of this on our YouTube too. And it has, you can see our faces. You can see my funny faces or funny expressions. You can see me staring at the camera awkwardly. And you can see the screen.
Everything you're missing if you're just listening to this as a podcast.
So be sure to check out YouTube also. Oh, how do people get out YouTube? Like
just search for NFToyz.
So NFToyz with the Z.
Because we don't have a custom URL yet because we don't have enough subscribers.
Oh, you can go to
and go subscribe.
You can just go NFToyz.com,
so
right?
You can get that custom URL. NFToyz.com.
We'll put the link on there.
Also, we'll have podcasts with show notes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll put it in the show notes. So if you're watching on a podcast aggregator or something, it should probably show up there. Yeah. So if you are watching on YouTube, I just have my screen share right now with a tweet thread from a OpenSea CTO. And he's essentially saying what we're doing. And we'll include this in the show note too, so that you can check it out and have a more in-depth sort of understanding, especially for the technical people. It's really interesting. And it goes to show that we have a lot to do in this whole crypto sort of to onboard people to use NFT. To all these technology. There's so much left to build. There's so many things to build, and just a lot of work to do ahead to kind of onboard people. Because I can't imagine, like, even me being, like I said before, being in this industry almost every day, a lot of these things are just still convoluted, still complex, still confusing. MetaMask changing their UI, UX like maybe every other month. It's super confusing. And there are a lot of ways to screw yourself over.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing really, really well.
Right. And I think that's the pros and cons of custodial wallets, right? You get control of your money. You get control of your stuff. Nobody can take it away until until you screw up and they took it away. But you can't take it back. It's not like us,
Right. To turn this into a super tech nerdy sort of analogy.
Yeah.
I would say custodial wallets are like Linux.
How
you can do a lot and you have a lot of control, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's really hard to use.
Yeah.
Whereas non-custodial, using a Coinbase wallet, would be like using a Mac.
Yeah.
Any like iOS sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Where it pretty much does everything for you, but in terms of control, you don't have nearly as much.
Yeah.
But you're also protected from a lot of things that could go wrong.
True. Yeah, I get that analogy. Yeah, that works. Yeah, for sure. I mean, lots this in the tech world, in the world, essentially, pretty much is that there's pros and cons to everything, and this is the problem with custodial wallet. I mean, you have control of your stuff, but you have control to kind of lose all your stuff too.
Everything's in your control.
Yeah, including messing up.
You are fully able to screw some shit up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that again, we'll leave some of these links in the show notes. You can check it out so you can go into detail on what's going on. One of the things that came out of this that a lot of people are not aware, and back to what I was saying about giving approval to OpenSea to transfer your asset on your behalf, you have to sign that. You have to approve that for every new NFT. You have to go and approve. For example, if you have minted or purchased My Sausage NFT, if you want to trade that on an NFT, you have to approve that.
Right. It can't just automatically happen.
Because otherwise somebody wants to come in and buy the sausage. The OpenSea is like, I can't move it. I can't give it to you because the seller has not approved. And the reason I bring that up is that there is, if you want to be, if you're afraid that somebody's going to steal your stuff and or OpenSea or somebody has the approval, there's many sites out there that you can go to check to see what you have given approval to.
It's kind of like you think about on Twitter or Facebook or a lot of these sites where you other sites can connect to your Twitter, connect to your Facebook. And they usually have somewhere where you can go see what other sites you've given permissions to and revoke those permissions. That's kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Again, Alison, see, you're translating again. So I think that, that is essentially what Allison said. So there's different sites that you can go to, and you put in your wallet to essentially see what you have given approval to, what contracts, what service out there you have given access to. And one of those that came up out of all this, and I think not came up, but one of them that has brought up, this site called revoke.cash. You can essentially come here and type in your ETH address. And for those who's listening to the podcast, is revoke.cash. And then it just has
the full URL.
And it just has you come to the site, it has a little input box, and you can put in your Ethereum address, or you can put in your ENS address. So in my case, I do like fusun.eth. And for some reason, maybe a lot of people are using it, but it's not working right now. It could be because a lot of people are trying to use it. Yeah, it could be a lot of people are using. Oh, there we go. So I just type it in, and you can see that it loads all my NFT in my wallet, and it tells me what kind of allowance I have approved to others to move this asset.
I'm going to hide your face for a second so you can see.
Yes, go ahead and
so you can see where his camera was if you're watching on YouTube.
So you can see that
those are all his NFTs.
Oh, look, it's Sausage Party Club, 2 of them.
Yeah.
And you can see that there's no allowance on that, and
which means that nobody has permission to transfer them,
to move the asset. Yes. So, and if there is something that's on this page, I think you can connect your wallet, and then you can revoke the approval access to your token, to your NFT.
I see.
It does cost you fee, obviously, because anytime you want to write to the blockchain or make change to the blockchain, it costs money. It costs transactional fees.
So all of these permission things, these do cost you gas, is what you're saying. So when you give OpenSea permission,
it costs you
gas to be able to essentially list.
Yeah. So
does just a question, I don't know if you know off the top of your head, does OpenSea also charge a fee upfront for listing?
No. So what's going on is that's why every time you go for those that have sold or listed or sold stuff on OpenSea, I think you have to do 1 or 2 transactions before you can list something, because you have to give OpenSea approval. That's one transaction, and then you have to list it as another transaction. I think. You can tell because I've never listed or sold any NFT on OpenSea, because I don't believe in paper handing my NFT, Allison.
In what now?
Paper handing, like paper hand, like weak hand, diamond hand. That's the term for you have paper hand, like you sell something quickly. You're not able to hodl, Allison. You don't know that term?
I'm sorry, I'm just not okay. I have heard hodl. Kind of hard not to at this point.
Allison, you
but
have to.
No, I'm not. Apparently, not quite in the industry enough to hear about paper hand.
Paper hand, diamond hand. Yes, it's like the whole AMC, GME, stonk. How they rally around each other saying diamond hand, we need to hold this, and then everyone sold, and then there's like diamond hand to 0. that's essentially it. It's a meme. It's a meme.
Gotcha.
But yes, I actually have not sold any NFT because first of all,
a terrible investor.
No, I am a terrible trader.
Yes.
I am a really good investor. Think about it. Because
it's not really good at investing if you hold everything
and then never
past
sell.
When it goes way up until it completely crashes and is worth nothing again.
That's investing, Allison. I'm thinking 10 years.
Okay.
When my sausages will be worth millions.
So we've got the 10-year plan on Sausage Party.
In all honesty, I think the problem is just I don't really have that many that's worth that much. So it doesn't. What's the point of selling? Nobody's buying it.
True.
But yeah, so check out revoke.cash. I think there are. We'll leave in the show notes. But there is a few other website and service. I think Etherscan does have an option, a page that allows you to check your allowance and then revoke them too. But yeah, so if you're scared of losing your NFT or something like that, and you've been selling it before, you've been selling or trading on OpenSea, go check it out. Go check the site out. See what you have given allowance to OpenSea or anybody for that matter, and then revoke them, and then you should be okay.
And you're gold.
And you should be okay. So yeah. Perfect. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's a lot of as you can tell, it's a lot that even the technical people who are not familiar with crypto, it's confusing. It's like, what the heck?
I mean, we've been in the industry for years, and it's a mess.
It's still confusing. Yeah, it's so confusing. The wallets, like MetaMask, I don't think MetaMask gives you this option or tell you what's going on either. And everything is just like, it's just, in some way it's so early. And
I was going to say, you have to still remember that this is a very, very new industry.
Yes.
Overall, it's a very young industry. So a lot of things are not developed right now, or the technologies don't quite exist, or the standards or whatever. So just be very cautious with everything, and realize that the industry is definitely not at the point right now where you can just expect security and all of those things. A lot of people are trying, but like it's a lot of work, and we're definitely not there yet.
It's like we're so early, but then when you look at some of the pricing of like the so-called blue chips of NFT, and you feel like, man, we're so late. You feel
like you've lost out, but realistically, it's still a baby industry.
Yeah, and a lot of it. I mean, the whole NFT industry is probably just being like, there's maybe like 10 people trading back and forth, I'm just kidding. There's definitely
like 100.
Maybe 100 people just trading back and forth. 100 whales just kind of selling to each other. But yeah, it's a lot of hype, a lot of speculation, a lot of it's just a massive bubble right now. But in the term of technology and getting more people to onboard more people, it's still very young. It's like the internet in, like, I don't know, 94, 95, when you just have the browser and everyone's like, what's the browser mosaic? Like, why is this on a, it's really confusing. I would say it's even before AOL. I don't know if you remember the early days of AOL. I think AOL tried to make it a little bit more user friendly. Yeah. But I think we're still maybe before AOL.
I was not on the internet before the AOL days. I was too young.
Yeah. I would say it seems to me like that. I'll think about it more. Maybe not. But yeah, so speaking of early days, and I think the next biggest, most important things that I feel like crypto as an industry need to focus on is probably the wallet, the UI, UX wallet. Because you
pretty much anything that can make it easier, more intuitive, and safer.
Yeah.
Big point is safer for new people to get into it, or even for established people to be able to use it without constantly being like, I don't know if I've just screwed myself over, because there's no way to know.
Right. I mean, how do you have a pyramid scheme without more people coming in, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's what I say. But speaking of that, Sequence is a wallet that I'm super excited about, and we'll talk more about this maybe on the stream or something like that. It's built by the same people who built Skyweaver, the game. That's in open beta. This new game
about.
That it's like
We'll probably do an episode about that sometime.
Yeah, the game is really it's like a card game. It's heavily inspired by Blizzard Hearthstone. So if you play Hearthstone before, it's pretty much like that, but the web version of it, and it has a lot of NFT aspect to it. So each card is an NFT, so on and so forth. I think it has a bright future. I tried it out. It's really well done. So I'm gonna do some sort of first look or something like that on this channel soon.
So keep an eye out for that on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So their wallet that they built for the game to access the game is what has, it's what kind of caught my attention. They built Sequence.app. It's the wallet. It's pretty much, you can think of it as MetaMask, but it made it easier so that you can connect using your social media accounts.
So like using Twitter, Facebook, or something?
Yeah, so it's in a way it's kind of bridging the Web3, the Web2, and the Web3 world. So you don't have to have your own, like, even though it's custodial, and there's a lot of trick they did behind this, like it's multi-sig, like they have part of the signature, you have part of the signature, and only you and them can combine to it gets complicated. I'm not going to go into it that much, but it's custodial wallet, so it means you have control of it, but your access to it is via your social account. So I can launch a wallet, and it gives me option to sign in through Gmail, through your Facebook account, your Discord, Twitch, whatever. And you can, for example, I try it with my Gmail. I type in and it send me a code to my email, and then a link or a code or something like that. I click on it, I type in the link or the code, I think, and then it just logs me in. It gives me an address. It allows me to kind of interact with my wallet, but I don't have to, because the problem with MetaMask and all these other custodial wallet is that you have to have your seed phrase, right? And if you can give away, or somebody can hack to your computer if you don't use a cold storage wallet, and steal your seed phrase, essentially your signature, your secret key, and then they can kind of take everything away from you if they know what your secret key is. But this thing is kind of gated with your social login. So I log in with my Gmail account, and now I have access to it. Nobody else has access to it.
So this is only as secure as your social accounts are.
Exactly. But I think it's...
So have good passwords.
Yeah. I mean, it's like your strongest link is as strong as your weakest link. Does that make sense? I just made that. I think I just made that up. But what's cool about it is that it allows somebody to... I can build a game or an application that allows somebody to quickly log in with their email, their Facebook, whatever it is, and have access to what I'm building and play along, do whatever they want to do with it. So I think it's kind of cool. It's a bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. Allows people to quickly log in without having to have this whole charade and, setting up your wallet, your MetaMask, and your keys, and write it down and then store it somewhere secret and blah, 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 or even get like one of the hardware wallet and deal with that. So it allows you to quickly just get up and going. And I can see, like, if we build a game, Alison, which I think we're going to try to do in the near future. Yeah. Like some sort of blockchain game just for learning experience. Yeah. We can send
fun sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm thinking of integrating with something like this, and we can send it out to people who are not familiar with Web3, with MetaMask and all that. And they can just like, oh, I can log into my Facebook because everyone has a Facebook. And then they can just get going and, do whatever they need to do with it. But I think, like you said, at the end of the day, the security of it is only as good as your Gmail account or your Twitter account, whatever it is, right? So I would only use this to kind of like act as your secondary wallet, so to speak.
So don't put your important stuff on it.
Don't put your
But if you're like playing a game or something that's
that you don't need to,
as important to you.
that I don't need to, exactly. And I can fund it separately too. I have a main account, and that's what I'm thinking of doing. Is like, for people who are serious about, they have their main account, and then they can fund it with this account, and then they can do their side for fun hobby stuff on this wallet. And then they can, keep this separate from the main account. Yeah. So that if this get hacked, then it's like, okay, whatever. I lose some sausages. Who cares, Oh, no, wait. No, the sausage needs to go on the main account. Please. The main wallet, please. So I think there's going to be wallet UX, UI, wallet innovation needs to, as an industry, I think we need to step it up quite a bit to kind of onboard the next, I don't know how many billion users, so we can continue this pyramid scheme,
Exactly. Say it like it is.
Speaking of, everything in life is a pyramid scheme to some extent. So, yeah, so I think that's pretty much my TED talk about wallets, UX, UI, and about the hacks.
Yeah, so
I don't know if you have more to talk about.
I think we'll be keeping an eye on what's going on with the hack. If there's any other important or interesting news coming out of that.
Yeah.
And
before we go, do you have any new things you learn, Allison, in your process of?
Not when you put me on the spot like this. I do, and if you want to hear about them, go check out the blog at NFToyz.com.
I gotta keep you on your toe, Allison. But yeah, go to NFToyz.com. I think Allison is falling asleep from my TED Talk.
I am not.
But yeah, we'll leave all these links in the show notes, and be sure to come by our Twitch stream
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be there.
Yeah. If you have any questions about NFTs or blockchain technology wise,
we also have a Discord too. If you're into into the whole anyone who's in an NFT probably has Discord, or probably a billion page or server on Discord. So yeah, you can join our server too.
So if you need another one to be a part of.
Yeah. And then you can ask question there. We don't have that many users, so if you're the first one there, or you're the second or third, you can ask question exclusively.
I mean, even if you're the fourth or fifth or
you can probably ask too.
We'll still let you ask questions.
It's still very quiet.
Very quiet.
It's still very quiet. But yeah, that's I think that's it.
That's it
for this. I don't know how often should we do this podcast, Allison? Maybe just whenever, or maybe try to do it maybe every week. I don't know. Every time we say that we're gonna try to do it at a certain schedule, it never works out.
We'll see ya when we see ya. But podcast schedule aside, we do have a lot of videos that are ready for posting on the YouTube channel. So there will be kind of a constant stream of videos going up on the YouTube channel. Podcast episodes will be a little less often, but we'll aim for some sort of regular-ish schedule. And yeah.
Sounds good.
We'll see you when we see ya.
We'll see you next time. Adios. Bye-bye.